candidates, how are you? Once again, following the previous lesson that we had, I'm sure everybody wrote the exercise and I'm confident you passed it. Get your book where you wrote the work and you're going to mark yourself religiously, don't cheat. If you failed it, you put a cross on your work. If you passed it, you put a tick. If this is number one, that probably you wrote, we want us to be neat. If this was your number one, and probably you passed it, get a pencil. Please mark in pencil, don't mark in ink. Number two, you failed it, you put a cross like that. Then you will write the corrections. Be religious, don't cheat. We are learning. So children, I know you are fine and comfortable where you're seated. We are going to go through that exercise as you put a tick on the numbers that I gave. So candidates, our question one was, I have learned how to dash. I have learned how to write a dash letter. I have learned how to write a dash letter. Our word in brackets was person. The word in brackets was person. So that means that you have learned how to write a personal letter. You have learned how to write a personal letter. If you passed it, you put a tick. You put a tick. If you failed the spelling, you put a cross. I've learned how to write a personal letter. Then the second question was, Mutella is one of my dash. Mutella is one of my dash. Word in brackets was relate. Word in brackets was relate. Mutella is one of my relatives. If you put relative alone, religiously put a cross. Mutella is one of my relatives. Question 3. She completed the letter with yours dash. She completed the letter with yours dash. Word in brackets was affection. Word in brackets was affection. She completed the letter with yours affectionately. Affectionately is the word that we use in that case, with yours affectionately. Then the fourth question was, I put my dash name in the letter. I put my dash name in the letter. Word in brackets was 1. I put my dash name in the letter. I put because this work is deriving from the vocabulary that we learned, I put my first name. Our fifth question was, have you got any dash to the letters you sent? Have you got any dash to the letters you sent? The word in brackets was reply. Have you got any replies? Have you got any replies to the letters that you sent? Then the sixth question is, the dash did not receive the letter. The dash did not receive the letter. Our word in brackets was address. The dash did not receive the letter. The addressee. The addressee. Please, when I was teaching this vocabulary, I told you to mark the uniqueness of the spelling, double D, double S, double E. So I think you've mastered the spelling of addressee, which is said another word for addressee is the receiver, the one who receives. Then question 7, She made a brief dash in her letter. The word in brackets was introduced. She made a brief dash in the letter, a brief introduction, a brief introduction. Okay, that one. Question 8, very fast. Our question 8, you need to dash your letter before posting it. You need to dash your letter before posting it. Our word in brackets is envelope. Our word in brackets is envelope. That was the word. You need to envelope the letter. Take note of the spelling. When it's a verb, we don't put letter E after P. Then question 9. Question 9 was, the dash in the letter was not clear. The dash in the letter was not clear. Word in brackets is informed. Word in brackets is informed. The dash in the letter, the information in the letter was not clear. The information in the letter was not clear. Then lastly, question 10, I am dash writing. I am dash writing to invite you to my birthday party. I am dash writing to invite you to my birthday party. The word in brackets was purpose. Word in brackets was purpose. And the answer was, I am purposely. Let me write it here where I can easily see it. I am purposely writing. So if you got all the answers correct, clap hands for yourself. Show that you are really attentive. Today I'm going to look at another thing. I know you've been checking the spellings. I want to be faster such that you don't lose your concentration. Okay. Now, candidates, we are going to look at some of the structures that are going to be that we are going to need when we are writing our letters, when we are into creative writing our letters. These structures are going to be very important. So today, we are going to look at a very simple structure that we are going to need. I don't want my handwriting to be... Okay, I want to write clearly such that you understand. Language, structure. Okay, this language structure we're going to use is very simple. We express it like that. We are going to use the word likely as a structure that is going to be very good in this writing. In this topic. Likely, we need to know the meaning. When you get to know the meaning, it's going to be very easy for us to use it. We use the structure likely to show something or an action that may happen. Or that has a possibility of happening. There is a possibility that something is going to happen. A possibility comes from the word possible. It is possible. Now, when I look outside here, I'm seeing there is a possibility of a downpour. There is a possibility of rain, that it's going to rain. So, when I'm going to use the structure likely, I have to capture its meaning to show that there is a possibility or something is possible to happen or something may happen. At times you can even use the word might. Teacher Maureen may teach us some structures tomorrow, It is possible that the teacher is going to give us an assignment. So that's when we use the word. Let us capture the meaning of those words to relate it with this structure. So we are going to learn it through the examples. We are going to master it through the examples that I'm going to give you today. For example, I can say, Abe, I can say I have a friend called Abe in my class. I can say examples. Abe may write some letters to his penny pals. Remember what he said who a pen pal is? So Abe may write some letters to his pen pals. So when the setter instructs me to use the word likely may not be used in the same way we use may not be used in the same way we use might. In this case, likely goes with these helping verbs is, are, or am. These are the helping verbs. Whenever I'm using likely, I have to put am, is, or are. I choose any of the three depending on the subject. So when the setter requires me to use likely, I have to remember these helping verbs, which come from the, okay, I may not bring that, may confuse you a little. So children, when they say this, Abe may write some letters to his pen pals. What I'm going to do, I am going to replace may with likely, because in this case, may and likely have a similar meaning. In this case, what I do, I just replace may with the likely. At the back of your mind, when I'm using likely, I have to use any of these three, depending on the subject. The subject is the doer of the action of write. So in this case, Abe being a singular subject, I'm going to choose is and say Abe is likely. Okay. Is it likely? Now, the setter will never tell you this. The setter will never tell you that he rewrites using likely and he puts for you these words. He will never say that. He will just say rewrite using likely, only that. But we've said that at the back of your mind, know that likely goes with any of these three helping verbs depending on the subject. And again, when I'm using likely, when I am using likely has also to go with that word to. That word to. Likely to. But the setter does not bring it. The setter just says use likely, only that. But for you have to master that, likely goes hand in hand with to. Why does it have to go with to? Because this verb write is going to appear as write. I am going to write. I'm going to do what? To write. Whenever I'm using these such verbs in their infinitive, they have to do what? As infinitives, they have to go with that word to. Or if we leave that alone, we have to know that the word likely goes hand in hand with to. You have to master this one. Now I'm going to say Abe is likely to write. He is likely to write some letters to his pen pals. To his pen pals. So candidates have said that this word likely These are the words that I line with its meaning. So whenever I find them in a sentence, I have to replace them. I can still say, it is possible Mary is going to celebrate her birthday. When I can say it's going to celebrate her birthday. What did I use here? Tomorrow. It is possible Mary is going to celebrate her birthday tomorrow. So in this case, you said the word possible comes from the word possibility comes from the word possible. Still, it is in line with this, and the setter tells you rewrite using likely. Still, we've known how we place this word likely in a sentence. We begin with the subject, and our subject, the subject is the doer. We say Mary is likely to. Say this word to goes hand in hand with the likely. That word to goes hand in hand with the likely. So you have to say Mary is likely to do what? To celebrate her birthday. Celebrate her birthday tomorrow. Mary is likely to celebrate her birthday tomorrow. So we can still say, we may post the letters. We may post the letters. We may post those letters next week. We may post those letters next week. What you need to know, candidates, in this case is that likely is used again to show something that has not yet happened, but we just think that we just show a possibility that it may happen, this action may happen. That is why I say we may post those letters next week. We are not yet sure. There is just a possibility that the letters may be posted. That is why we just use the word likely as a structure in this case and say we are. Remember what we said, you choose from these ones depending on the subject. We are likely to post. We are likely to post those letters. We are likely to post those letters next week. Okay. When I use likely, I want to repeat. We are not yet sure. It is not a must that the action will happen. It's not a must. We just show a possibility. Probably if we get time. Probably if, if we get time, probably we shall do what? We shall post them, but it is not a what? It is not a must. Another example that we can bring in here, I can still say, I might invite Mukisa. I might invite Mukisa to my party. I might invite Mukisa to my party. Okay? Still, we choose. We choose. I can use, let me use may invite Mukisa to my, I'm not yet sure. I am not yet sure, but I may invite Mukisa to my party. When I am going to use likely, again I choose depending on the subject, and I say I am likely. I am likely to do what? To invite Mukisa, Joshua, right there. I know you're going to write my work in the best handwriting. Joshua, Mukisa, and the rest of the candidates. At the time you left, we had adopted a uniform handwriting in our books. So that is the handwriting that we expect in all the work that we are giving you. So in this case, I'm very sure you picked very well what I have taught. Joshua Mukisa, I remembered your handwriting that you had really learned. So that is why I stopped a bit. I'm likely to invite Mukisa to my party. So candidates, those are some of the examples that you can copy in your books. You copy such that you follow them properly. So these ones, as I've said, the setter will never bring them to you. It just knows that your teacher explained it very well. For him, it just does that. The setter just does that, like that, and tells you, rewrite using likely. That is what the setter does. So candidates, get ready with your pens, your books, you copy the exercise in your books. The next time I come back, we shall review this lesson and mark ourselves. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience in your class.